Normal, labs. But still sick? Your TSH came back at 3.5. Your doctor smiles and says, "Good news, everything looks normal." But here you are, exhausted by 2 p.m., gaining weight even though you're barely eating, watching your hair collect in the shower drain. You start to wonder, is this just aging? Stress? Am I imagining this? Let me stop you right there. Because if this sounds familiar, you are not crazy. And you are definitely not alone. Here's the part no one explained to you. Normal on a lab report does not always mean optimal for your body. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through why so many women are told their thyroid is fine, even when their body is clearly saying otherwise. And by the end, you'll know exactly what questions to ask and how to advocate for yourself with confidence. Thyroid dysfunction is one of the most underdiagnosed conditions in women. Studies estimate that up to 60% of people with thyroid disease don't even know they have it. And women between 30 and 55 are the most affected, especially after pregnancy, chronic stress, or hormonal shifts. So why does this get missed so often? Because conventional medicine typically relies on one single number, TSH. If that number falls inside a wide reference range, you're told you're fine, even if your quality of life is falling apart. Here's the disconnect. Lab ranges are built from population averages, not from what makes you feel well. That means you can be technically normal, while your cells are still starving for thyroid hormone. As a family nurse practitioner, I hear this story weekly. All my labs are normal, but I don't feel like myself anymore. Let's talk about why that happens. TSH stands for thyroid stimulating hormone. It's produced by your brain and tells your thyroid how hard to work. In most labs, the standard reference range for TSH is roughly 0.5 to 5.0 MIUL. If you're anywhere in that window, the system flags you as normal. But here's what most people don't realize. That upper limit was set decades ago, before we had today's data linking symptoms to higher TSH levels. A TSH of 3.5 or 4.5 might be allowed by the lab. But for many women, that level is already associated with fatigue, depression, weight gain, and hair loss. Think of it like blood sugar. A glucose of 99 is technically normal, but it's not optimal if you're trending toward insulin resistance. TSH works the same way. Just because you haven't crossed a diagnostic line yet doesn't mean your body is thriving. In functional and integrative medicine, we look at optimal ranges, not just acceptable ones. For most women, research and clinical experience suggest that optimal TSH falls closer to 0.5 to 2.5 MIUL. Why does this matter? Because many patients report feeling significantly better, more energy, clearer thinking, improved metabolism when their TSH is in this lower range. A TSH creeping above 2.5 can be an early warning sign. Not full-blown hypothyroidism, but what we call subclinical hypothyroidism, where labs are normal, but symptoms are loud. And here's the key point. TSH doesn't measure thyroid hormone in your cells. It only measures how hard your brain is yelling at your thyroid. So you can have a normal TSH, while your tissues are still underpowered. That's why stopping at TSH alone often leaves women stuck, frustrated, and unheard. What's missing? Free T4 NAMP, free T3. Let's talk about the hormones that actually do the work. Your thyroid produces mostly T4, which is inactive. Your body must convert T4 into T3, the active hormone that fuels your metabolism, brain, hair follicles, and muscles. Here's the problem. Many doctors check TSH, and maybe total T4, but skip free T4 and free T3. Free T4 tells us how much raw material you have. Free T3 tells us how much active hormone is available to your cells. You can have plenty of T4, but poor conversion to T3 due to stress, inflammation, nutrient deficiencies, or dieting. This is incredibly common in women juggling careers, caregiving, chronic stress, and poor sleep. If free T3 is low, Even with a normal TSH, symptoms can persist. Fatigue, brain fog, cold intolerance, weight gain. Without these markers, we're only seeing part of the picture. What's missing? RT3 NAMP, antibodies. Two more markers are often skipped, and they're crucial. First, reverse T3. RT3 is an inactive form of T3 that blocks thyroid receptors. When your body is under stress, illness, trauma, calorie restriction, it may shunt T4 into RT3 instead of active T3. So even if your labs look normal, your cells may be functionally hypothyroid. Second, thyroid antibodies, especially TPO and TG antibodies. These tell us whether your immune system is attacking your thyroid, a condition called Hashimoto's, which affects millions of women. Here's the shocking part. You can have antibodies for years before TSH ever becomes abnormal. By the time TSH flags high, significant thyroid damage may already be done. Catching this early changes everything, from treatment strategy to long-term outcomes. Symptoms that persist. So what does subclinical hypothyroidism actually feel like? It feels like crushing fatigue despite adequate sleep, weight gain or inability to lose weight, hair thinning, eyebrow loss, brittle nails, constipation and bloating, cold hands and feet, anxiety or depression that doesn't respond to treatment, brain fog and memory lapses, and perhaps the most frustrating symptom of all, I don't feel like myself anymore. Women are often told this is stress, aging, or hormones. Sometimes it is, but thyroid dysfunction often sits quietly underneath all of it. When these symptoms are brushed off, women start doubting their own bodies. I want you to hear this clearly. Persistent symptoms are data. Your body is communicating, even if your labs haven't caught up yet. So what can you do? First, ask for a full thyroid panel, not just TSH. TSH, free T4, free T3, reverse T3, TPO and TG antibodies. Second, ask your provider how your results compare to optimal ranges, not just lab cutoffs. Third, address the root causes that impair conversion. Chronic stress, poor sleep, iron, selenium, zinc, and iodine imbalances, inflammation and gut health, and most importantly, advocate for yourself. Bring your symptoms. Bring your questions. Bring this knowledge. If you feel dismissed, it's okay to seek a second opinion, especially from a provider trained in functional or integrative medicine. You deserve care that looks at the whole picture, not just one number. If this video resonated with you, you're not alone. And you don't have to figure this out by yourself. If you want more evidence-based, patient-centered insights into hormones, metabolism, and functional medicine, make sure to subscribe. And share this video with a woman who's been told, your labs are normal, while she quietly struggles. Because your symptoms are real. Your experience matters. And normal should never mean suffering. Disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Always work with a qualified healthcare provider for diagnosis and treatment decisions. I'll see you in the next video.